Alright guys, so I'm going to give you a bit of a summary on how to do a systematic review because I'm pretty sure most of you are dreaming of your bed rather than actually thinking about how to do your reviews. So here's a quick rundown of what I covered in class. I'm going to go a little bit quicker because you can always just relook at this video as much as you want. So the first thing you want to do is identify your search terms. So whatever your topic is, you list your search terms right across the top and then you list them again across the bottom. Then this number represents the number of hits that fall under these two terms. So for safe site, you get 729. This means that there are 729 hits when you search safe site. That's after you exclude for stuff that's not relevant, such as environmental science. Stuff you exclude for stuff that's not relevant. So these are the remaining fields that you have: environmental science, ecology, zoology, plant sciences, forestry, etc. So you're searching through here and you found that with the word nurse you only get 36 hits, especially when you link it up to safe site. Then when you get nurse just by itself, nurse, you get 1,500. Facilitation has a giant amount of hits, which you kind of expect, and so forth. Of course, your topics are going to be different. So if you're doing, for example, the study of coffee or something like that, you have caffeine, coffee, number of um, cups per day or cups or something to that effect all the way across, and you repeat them again on the bottom. So that's the easy part. Once you put out your two terms, you're going to come up with two terms that you like. These two terms are, you're going to have to cheat a little bit and pick terms that make the most sense to you, but also have a reasonable amount of hits. You don't want anything that has 100 hits because that's unreasonable. You won't be able to manage that. And you don't want anything with like, say, 6, 7, or 8 hits because that's useless for you as well because it's not really that informative. So you want something in the middle ground, like maybe 62 or 34 or something like that, even 49. So if you picked 49, for example, in this instance, you'd be studying facilitation and how it relates to seed traps or how um, seed seeds can be facilitated on arrival. So we go back into your library at York University. You click Libraries. You're going to have to search up Web of Science. Give it a second to load. You're going to click Access to Resource. It's easy, but for some reason you have to actually search through the York U website. You can't just go and Google Web of Knowledge or Web of Science. It usually doesn't bring you to this page as easily as the library search through York site. So we pick our topic. My topic was nurse plant, so I'm going to use that example again. So nurse, plant, sweet. You exclude stuff that's not relevant. Done. Search. 1,000 hits. It's a lot, but a lot of stuff here is not relevant. The word nurse usually comes up for health sciences a lot, so we're going to have to exclude that. And of course, with your topic, you'd have to only refine it to fields that associate you. So you see here right away, like neurosciences has nothing to do with plants. Pediatrics, again, unrelevant. So click ecology and refine. Now I have 424 hits, much more manageable. Um, Now you can analyze the results, which I again showed in class. You can analyze by authors, and you get a giant list that kind of looks like this. You can actually check out more, like say for example 25 authors per page. Analyze again. You see Cavieres, he's a super big guy. I reference him multiple times in my review. Callaway, also another popular name. Look who else pops up. Yours truly. And yeah, this is great. So you could also search by that. You could search by other things such as publication years. So you can see um, the studies seem to be happening more frequently. 2013 actually is kind of low, but that's because the year hasn't ended yet. And by the end of the year, there'll probably be, this number might even surpass 2010. And this is stuff you can analyze when you do your paper. So we're going to go back. And now we're going to create a citation report. So here's the citations per year, and here are all the papers. Now what you're going to do is the tricky part, which I think some of you might have missed. So you want to go here to send to a non-text file. You're going to send to Excel file. Now, you can't click on all records on the page. That'll only give you 10. You want all of the records. So you click records, and then there was 424 before, so we're going to do that. Send. The file saves. You open it. Bam. Great. This stuff you might want to save, so we're going to cut it, throw it onto another page, and then condense all this stuff. You might want to save this, but it's been refined by the topic, but that can also be saved on another spot. So why don't we save that? And the only thing others you want to do is the date that you did the survey. So today is November 7th, 2013. That's important because if you did this study, for example, next January, in 2 months, more papers may have came out, and then this data is no longer relevant. Delete all this stuff, not relevant. Anything that has gaps, probably also not relevant. You could even probably delete stuff like volume number, issue number, also not the most informative thing. And then you scroll across. This stuff, not relevant, gone. So you have average number of citations per year, total number of citations, and you also have your reviews and stuff. So the first thing you kind of want to do is search through here for anything that's a review. There's nothing that's a review, okay? Anything that's a meta-analysis, then you just put in the word meta, because the word meta won't come up unless it's for a meta-analysis. And here we go. The first hit I have is applying plant facilitation and meta-analysis using shrubs as nurse plants. That's awesome. It's a great study. So I probably want to click on that, throw it into a separate page, and I'm going to look up this paper later. Next meta-analysis. Oh, there's another one. Role of interaction. Restoration of degraded ecosystems analysis. Again, life forms and ecosystems. Probably relevant to my topic. Copy. Paste it into my other sheet. Do it again. Anyways, you can do this over and over again, but you get the point. So you're looking for meta-analyses and systematic reviews that have been published on the topic before. Later on, you can take these subjects. Quickly, you can go into Google Scholar. Paper comes up, and you could just either read the abstract, or you could actually read the whole paper. I recommend just reading the abstract at first to get a feel for how everything is and understanding your topic quite more extensively. So we're going to go back to this file. The other papers you might want to read is maybe like the top 5 or 6, because they have the most amount of citations. Like 448 citations is a lot of citations for a paper, which means this papers are probably really important. So you probably want to read it. Maybe the next one there, also important. You read these papers and you get an idea of the literature and where you can possibly take it or go from there. Sweet. So that's how you do your actual review. How you do the grunt work to collect all your information. In the end, you have something that you could go like this, where I've further subdivided every paper. So here we have all the paper information. Then here we have how I subdivided it. So I organize it by mechanism of tests. So is it a seed trap? Does it increase pollinator visitation? Does it increase soil moisture? So I put a tick in Excel if it did, and if it didn't, it would get a 0. I also pulled out the GPS coordinates. What ecological concept does it fall under? So here we have restoration ecology, succession ecology, invasion biology, evolution ecology, etc. I also coded it for environment. Is it arid, semi-arid, alpine? What region of the world is it? Here's the Sonoran Desert. Country, nurse type, so is it a shrub, a tree, a cushion, and so forth. So that's how I coded all these papers. You don't need to do it nearly as extensively as this, but you could just need to come up with some way of possibly categorizing the data. And in the end, you want to come up with a graphical representation of it. So here's one graph I'd come up with, where each of these parts of the pie represent the number of studies I have associated with each of these mechanisms. I also did this graph, or picture rather, that kind of shows nurse mechanisms through the life stages of a plant. and then here are all the possible ways for nurse facilitation. There are other papers that have done different things. So this is another review on nurse plants, and it categorized on environment as well. So you have arid and semi-arid, grasslands, temperate plains, etc. So this is just kind of done like a simple bar graph, which is perfect. I like something like this as well. Then here it is again for plant families, not nearly as informative, but still kind of interesting. And here again, families, but for the protege rather than the nurse type. There's other things that have been done too. Trying to bring up another paper. Just give me a sec. So here's another one by Anthem and Dangles. Um, this is again facilitation of or plant-plant interactions and different things that affect it. So disturbance, abiotic stress, vegetation cover, phylogenetic relationness, and then it has on the outside the overarching hypothesis. So niche differentiation, stress gradient hypothesis, and then all the citations that are associated with it. Here's another example. This is with cancer. So all these dots represent the relative risk associated with cancer, and this is actually a paper that examines many other effect sizes for cancer papers. So it shows that like mesothelioma is kind of relatively low risk, whereas something such as stomach cancer is a higher risk, etc. Um, and here's another paper I was looking up on coffee and caffeine. So I think that's more or less what I have to say about reviews. I'm going to probably talk next week a little bit about Prisma reports, which I'll elaborate on. Dr. Lodi will probably explain them in class, and then I'll probably just riff a little bit more on systematic reviews. If you guys could all provide to me, maybe at the very least, this matrix, but also I would like to see that you can all export these articles into an Excel file so that I can see that you at least have your papers all set up to go through. And then from that point on, you'll just be trying to work on them and sort them all out. So I think that covers more or less everything. If you have any other issues, feel free to contact me as always, and we'll take it from there. Okay, awesome. Thanks.